In today's presentation, we'll embark on an informative, fun, and educational journey together as we unveil and explore in depth one of the most mystical, introspective, and religious aspects of the Caribbean life and lifestyle, especially in Jamaica. Rastafarianism, a spiritual movement rooted in unity and empowerment. From its vibrant origins in Jamaica to its global impact, Rastafarianism is indeed a spiritual and cultural movement that's captured the hearts of Jamaican and millions globally. In this video, we'll explore its key beliefs, practices, and the message of unity and empowerment it spreads across the world. So, stay tuned, hit that like button, and let's embark on this enlightening journey together. Rastafarianism is not only a religious movement, but also a political and social one, and one that many in Jamaica still strongly identify with today. We will look at how this movement has developed, where its roots can be found, and its influence through reggae music, along with its huge cultural impact. We will also explore its views on race, morality, ethics, and its most common practices, and observe its history and spread in the Caribbean, Africa, Europe, Australia, and Asia. Rastafari, also spelled Rastafari, began in Jamaica in the 1930s following the coronation of Ethiopian Emperor Haile Selassie I in 1930. The movement rises, as a matter of fact, from the proliferation of Pan-Africanism and Ethiopianism, along with influences of Protestant Christianity, mysticism, and Black nationalism. All these factors were very strong in the Jamaican culture of the 1930s and intensely contributed to the spread of Rastafarian beliefs. Rastafarians refer to their god as Jah, who is not a creature to venerate and worship through the medium of a priest or pastor, because Jah partially resides within every one of us. Therefore, according to Rastas, we must develop our ability to enter into contact and communication with our inner God, which we can achieve through meditation and intuition. The history of Rastafarianism is complex and intertwined. We have to go back to the Atlantic slave trade, which took place between the 16th and the 19th century, and which saw the enslavement of over 10 million African slaves transported to the Americas. Almost 700,000 of them were settled in the British colony of Jamaica until the abolishment of slavery in the Caribbean by the British government in 1834. Already in the 18th century, these slaves started to adhere to movements such as Ethiopianism, which believed Ethiopians, and by extension all Africans, are the people chosen by God, as mentioned in various biblical passages. Consequently, the Back to Africa ethos developed and contributed to the founding of Rastafarianism as well. The African diaspora located in Europe and the Americas was called to be resettled in Africa, and some colonies were established in these times. Another key influence on the spread of Rastafarianism was the Great Revival of 1860 to 1861, when a number of missionaries started coming to Jamaica from the USA, drawing more and more Afro-Jamaicans to Pentecostal churches. Eventually, one of Jamaica's national heroes, a huge activist for Black people's rights, and the founder of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, UNIA, Marcus Garvey, also significantly influenced the Rastafari rise to popularity. His support of the Back to Africa movement went as far as to creating the Black Star Line, a passenger line planned to transport Afro-Jamaicans back to Africa, in opposition to civil rights activists who preferred to push for racial integration in the Caribbean. When his play, Coronation of an African King, came out in 1930, anticipating the imminent crowning of Haile Selassie as Emperor of Ethiopia, Marcus Garvey was immediately seen as a prophet and assimilated to Rastafarianism. Despite his negative views of the religion and his strong criticism towards the emperor himself, Haile Selassie as well took his distance from the Rastafari religion, a religion which saw him as the Black Messiah prophesied in the Book of Revelation, or as the returned Jesus according to many street preachers. However, his figure is and will always be associated with the Rasta religion, which takes its name from his pre-coronation title, Rastafari Makanen, and uses his image and symbology up until today. The spread of Rastafarianism inevitably declined with the death in 1975 of Haile Selassie, who many Rastafarians thought to be immortal, and the death in 1981 of the greatest and ultimate symbol of this religion, successful reggae artist Bob Marley. Through his songs, Marley was considered responsible for introducing Rastafarian themes, concepts, and demands to a truly universal audience. Citation Cashmore, 1983, and the popularity of his music, while on one hand led to the spread of the religion, also contributed to a growth of pseudo-Rastas and a commercialization of the religion that was frowned upon by many Rastafarians who still rejected the influence of Bob Marley as a positive aspect. Some of the greatest Rastafarian songs of all time include Bob's Rastaman chant, Redemption Song, and Roots rock reggae, but also Peter Tosh's Legalize It and Bonnie Wailer's Dreamland. After the passing of Bob Marley, Rastafarian religion and reggae music both declined in popularity, with reggae leaving its place for dancehall, a very different genre dealing with much less mystical and spiritual topics. In the 1990s, Jamaica experienced a small revival of Rastafari-focused reggae and campaigns for the legalization of cannabis, which is another important aspect of the religion, as we will see later. Nowadays, over 1 million Rastas are estimated to be found worldwide, with most of them in Jamaica, but many in surrounding islands such as Trinidad, Grenada, St. Vincent, and Dominica, and more in other geographical areas such as the USA, Canada, several African countries, the UK, Germany, France, Japan, Australia, and New Zealand. By the way, if you are getting value from this video, we would greatly appreciate it if you would give this video a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for our future videos. Thank you. If we wanted to investigate the beliefs of the Rastafarian religion, we could say that it has a lot of similarities with the Judeo-Christian religion. The center of the Rastafarian beliefs resides in the Bible, but they also believe that its true meaning was twisted in the King James Version through mistranslations and manipulation. And the history of Black Africans, the chosen ones, was deliberately edited. The Old Testament, believed to have been originally written in Amharic, an Ethiopian language, is interpreted by Rastafarians to study the past, while the New Testament, namely the Book of Revelations, is used to understand, or better, overstand the present and predict the future. Rastas are monotheists and worship Jah, whose name is a short version of Jehovah, the name of God in the Old Testament. As Jah exists within everyone, Rastas don't feel the need for an intermediate figure such as Christian preachers, viewed as deceivers, or even worse, the Pope, believed to be Satan or the Antichrist. As Rastas say, God is man and man is God. Rastas know Jah. They don't simply believe in him. Rastas believe that the Black African diaspora is exiled living in Babylon, which is a term used to define Europe and the Western world. This derives from their belief that they should be delivered from captivity and return to Zion, the symbolic name for Ethiopia, and more broadly, Africa. Both Babylon and Zion are biblical names, with the first being a Mesopotamian city where the Israelites were held captive by the Roman Empire, and the latter being a reference to idealized Jerusalem. While in the first decades of its spread, Rastafarianism was clearly promoting a return to Zion for all the African diaspora. In the end, a change of influence observed, probably driven by the 1983 to 1985 famine in Ethiopia, and more Rastas interpreted such an idea in a more metaphorical way, promoting liberation before reparation, a restoration of self-confidence and respect as people of Black African descent. Rastafarians also believe that the present world will come to an apocalyptic end, and that only Rastas will be the chosen ones to survive and enter a new age. But they do not believe in an afterlife. Some, though, seem to believe in possible reincarnation. Death is not celebrated, and funerals are generally avoided. Their view of life is extremely patriarchic, with women seen as impure during the period of menstruation and childbirth, and not allowed to cook food for men or participate in ceremonies at all during this period. Women Rastas, normally referred to as queens or empresses, though being a minority, generally accept this subordinate, inferior position. They will cover their heads and conceal their body contours in white clothes, and they will accept polygamy while being faithful to their man. Sex is seen only as a means of procreation. It goes without saying that certain practices, including anal or oral sex, abortion, and contraception, are particularly frowned upon in the Rastafarian community. Rastafarians can be detected by a few practices, including their dietary choices, their hairstyles, their language, and the use of cannabis. As to their diet, Rastas normally choose to eat natural food, mostly grown organically, and follow the laws of the Book of Leviticus, which command them to refrain from eating pork or crustaceans. Many Rastas are therefore vegetarian or vegan and choose ital food. They will avoid alcohol, cigarettes, and hard drugs. Dreadlocks are probably one of the strongest visual symbols of the Rastafarian community, highlighting again their commitment to naturalness. While not considered mandatory by many, it is now even accepted in schools and public places, while it was initially highly stigmatized. Those Rastas who wear their dreadlocks proudly are normally referred to as locksmen, while those who don't are known as clean-face Rastas. As this hairstyle has been adopted by many reggae musicians and non-Rastas all over the world, it is not uncommon to be looked at with judgment and suspicion by strict Rastafarians. Many white people that choose to wear dreadlocks are particularly seen with some form of disrespect by those Rastafarians that strongly believe white people are the root of evil and are responsible for the terrible state in which black people find themselves today, following the sins of slavery. It is not hard to imagine that strict Rastafarians, with their strong ideals and beliefs, can be quite discriminatory and racially prejudiced towards white people. Words have an intrinsic power for Rastafarians, and lyric, or Dread Rasta talk, is an extremely interesting aspect of their culture. The pronoun I and I is widely used and is often replacing prefixes in other words. For instance, meditation becomes iditation, and consciousness becomes lusciousness. Phonetics is associated with the meaning of the words. Hence, a word like oppression, where up sounds very much like up, becomes downpression, and appreciate, whose ending sounds like hate, becomes apprecialove. Finally, perhaps one of the most distinctive traits of Rastafarians is their use of cannabis. Smoking ganja is a ritual for Rastas, a way to open our inner consciousness and come closer to Jah, thanks to its healing properties and its ability to indulge feelings of peace and love. The practice derives from the Kumina religion, where it was believed to facilitate possession by ancestral spirits, and from Hindu rituals, which had a strong impact on Jamaicans due to the migration of Hindu people as indentured slaves in the 19th century. The use of cannabis contributed to the numerous arrests and issues with the law that Rastafarians have been experiencing, particularly in the USA. Cannabis is illegal in several countries, including Jamaica, where it has been only decriminalized in 2015, and its use is also part of the Rasta protest against Babylon. A unique, mystic, and fascinating universe, Rastafarianism is still looked at with mixed feelings in today's society. In Jamaica, Rastas remain generally highly respected and admired. They are well integrated into the country's fabric, and their religion's dictates about appearance and dietary choices are now accepted even in government schools, where Rasta children are allowed to wear their dreadlocks despite the strict hairstyle demands. However, Rastafarians are still marginalized and regarded as suspicious, almost a criminal subculture by most police and authorities in North America. Their livity, the principle of a balanced lifestyle, along with the meditation and rituals, attract many people trying to find a more natural lifestyle. This, along with the use of Rasta imagery in the country's political life, as started by late Jamaican Prime Minister Michael Manley, now on our newest $2,000 notes, contributed to conferring greater legitimacy on Rastafari as part of the country's cultural heritage. What are your thoughts on Rastafarianism? We'd love to hear your comments and insights below. In conclusion, Rastafarianism emerges as a profound and influential spiritual movement with deep roots in the history and culture of Jamaica. From its humble beginnings in the early 20th century to its global spread today, Rastafarianism has transcended its religious foundations to become a cultural and social force that advocates for unity, empowerment, and social justice. At its core, Rastafarianism celebrates the divine essence of humanity and promotes a strong sense of connectedness with nature and the universe. With its emphasis on love, peace, and equality, adherents to Rastafarianism seek to cultivate a harmonious existence with each other and the environment. Their distinctive dreadlocks and reggae music have become iconic symbols of resistance, resilience, and identity, resonating with people across the globe. Throughout history, Rastafarians have faced challenges and prejudice, yet they continue to uphold their principle with unwavering determination. Rejecting materialism and consumerism, Rastafarian communities strive to create self-sustainable and cooperative environments that emphasize communal living and self-reliance. Moreover, the movement's strong advocacy for social justice and equality has played a crucial role in addressing systemic racism and colonial legacies, advocating for the rights of marginalized communities and promoting social change through peaceful means. The Rastafarian message serves as a beacon of hope, urging societies to embrace inclusivity, compassion, and unity to build a better world for all. While Rastafarianism remains firmly rooted in its Jamaican origins, its global influence continues to grow, inspiring individuals from diverse backgrounds to embrace its principles of spiritual awareness, social consciousness, and cultural pride. Rastafarianism stands as a compelling and significant spiritual movement that has left an indelible mark on the world. Through its principles of love, unity, and social justice, Rastafarianism continues to inspire and ignite positive change, urging us all to connect with our shared humanity and strive for a more harmonious and equitable future. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share our channel with others, and turn on the notification bell for our next video as we explore the Caribbean together. See you in the next video. This is J-irie Caribbean.